Here, 451 pages apparently. Joe Johns counting up the high price of all the pork that's in those 451 pages. And Joe, they are called tax extenders, but let's be honest about it, it is pork. For instance, this kid's arrow, I think we have a graphic showing people what it is. Okay, what are arrows doing in our bailout package, Joe?
Campbell, you got me. I mean, you got to wonder what this stuff has to do with the rescue plan. A lot of these things are tax breaks that have been around for a while. Now, I have to read the titles, and I warn you, they're not written for teleprompter. Starting with number 1, exemption from excise tax for certain wooden arrows designed for use by children, okay? You would have never known it, but wooden arrows designed for use by children apparently are worth $2 million. A $2 million tax break to the people who produce or import them. Right now, the law imposes a tax on them, and the new law basically gets rid of the tax. Number 2, 7-year cost recovery period for motorsports racing track facility. There you go. That's the tax cut for people who run automobile racetracks. We're talking about $100 million for the track owners, for the grandstands, for the parking lots, for the concession stands. And by the way, a lot of times those people are already getting tax breaks from their states and cities. Number 3, increase in limit on cover-over of rum excise tax to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. This is a tax break that has been around for a while. It reduces the tax on rum coming from Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. One of those tax breaks that expired at the beginning of the year. Total cost on that one, $192 million. Now here's the big title. Extension and modification of duty suspension on wool products, wool research fund, wool duty refunds. Okay, you get it. The tax break is for producers of worsted wool fabrics. We're talking about $148 million here for people who use imported fibers and yarns. There's plenty more where that came from. It all adds up to over $100 billion. The question, of course, do all these things really belong in there?
Well, that is the question, Joe. I mean, the list you just cited, those are all pretty ridiculous. I mean, clearly. But I know not all the sweeteners in this bill are necessarily as bad or as egregious. But why didn't they do it separately? I mean, why does this stuff have to go into the bailout package?
Well, yeah, you're totally right. There's one in there for tax breaks for bicycle commuters. Pretty good idea sometime, but come on, it's Capitol Hill politics. Everybody was in a rush, and this is what you call the last train leaving the station on Capitol Hill, a chance for Senate Democrats to get some things in they've been advocating, led, by the way, by Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. It was pretty clear the House was going to have to pass the bill. A lot of people weren't thrilled with it, but they said they had no choice, Campbell.
That's so lame. It's so lame. Joe, thank you for drawing up the list for us, and thank you for reading those 451 pages so I didn't have to.
Sure,
Good to see you, Joe Johns. Appreciate it. Coming up in a few minutes.